Welcome back to Afters with Joe and Chelsea, the people's favourite podcast. We are on to episode 19. We are talking about foods for fasting. We are also going to be covering fasting like a girl. I don't know what she is. What's she? A scientist? An author?
Dr. Mindy.
The person you're obsessed with, yeah.
Yeah, she's just an angel.
She's finally get the chance to
My obsession.
blab on about her today.
Okay, shall we get to it?
Let's go. So, foods to use when fasting.
Foods.
Food.
Okay. Is there a question there or?
Well, can you tell us like what foods or drinks you can have while you fast? To keep you in a fasted state that doesn't take you out of the fast. Doesn't raise your blood sugar level too high.
Yeah, so I think the one that I use, the biggest one, avocado, really high in fat, so it gives you that energy to keep going for another hour or two when you're fasting. And yeah, it doesn't bring you out of fasted state. That's my kind of go-to for slightly longer fast.
Is that because it's not got a lot of carbohydrates in and sugar?
Yes. I think it's just because of the fat content.
It's high in fat.
Yeah, so like some people that fast, there's obviously a big conversation there around coffee. Can you or can't you drink coffee when you're fasting? And the answer is, it's personal.
So would it be personal with avocado?
No, it wouldn't be personal, but
How do you know that?
Stop, let me speak. But the way, let me relate this coffee thing, I've not just said that randomly.
Right.
Some people can drink coffee and it doesn't raise their blood sugar, so it keeps them in a fasted state. Some people can also drink coffee with whole cream or buttercream or whatever it is they use. It's obviously mainly in America, but that's what I'm saying. So some people can have other things outside of avocado. It's got a high fat content, so like whole milk in their tea or coffee, and it wouldn't bring them out of a fasted state. But again, there is no rule like that. It's just you kind of have to discover that yourself.
So the main benefit of that would be you want to reap the benefits of fasting for a longer period of time, but you might just need that kind of hit of food or drink to kind of keep you going until you finish, right?
Yeah, if you're not doing a water fast. Yeah.
Okay. Can you also consume something called MCT oil?
Yes. So one of the things that people in the fasted world talk about is MCT oil, and it's basically derived from coconut oil. It's not coconut oil, but it's derived from coconut oil, and it's essentially like energy for the body.
Again, is it more talking about that big word ketosis? It's using fat as the energy source, not carbohydrates.
Yes. So do you want to explain what ketosis is?
Well, just said it.
In simple terms for people to understand.
Yeah, your body uses the kind of fat stores in the body in the body that can produce energy and be used for energy instead of carbohydrates.
Yeah. Yes, so it's essentially that metabolic switch. So your body changes from using energy from the food that you're putting in your body. There's no longer food being put in your body. So it turns to your fat stores.
So that would potentially increase the loss of body fat.
Potentially, yeah. There's a lot of people that probably disagree with that. There's some people that would say it does, but yeah. From our experience, it definitely has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So when you've done a fast, you've done a 16-hour fast, you're ready to have your first meal of the day. What are some of the things we should be eating?
What's your first meal of the day?
What's my
After
first
your
meal of the day?
intermittent fast. How long do you usually do? 13 to 15 hours?
Yeah.
So what's your first meal of the day?
I think everyone knows my yogurt. It's not your yogurt, it's mine. Yogurt, kefir, seeds, nuts, banana, and a protein bar. In that order.
Mm.
The yogurt for me has been a life changer due to almost like, I don't know, when you were in your uni days or before that and you want to drink or have something to line the stomach, as the famous phrase goes. I feel like that does that for my stomach. I don't know if it's a placebo effect or it genuinely is doing it, but yogurt and kefir for me gives that like set to like stabilize it and allow me to eat pretty much what I need for the rest of the day and not be affected and not have any gastric issues.
Well, I mean, I beg to differ. Trumpy McTrumpison.
Yeah, but I'm not soiling myself, am I? I've not got a Bristol 7.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, that's a scale of
your stool.
Your poo.
Stool. I don't say the P word on it. Check it out. It's really cool. It's not, but it's.
Where would one check it out if they were interested in knowing what number their poo was?
I think on Modern Wisdom. Poo specialist.
Nice.
Very cool. Can tell a lot from someone's poo.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
So that would be mine. Sort of yogurt, kefir. Thinking about from a gut point of view, my protein ball would be to kind of just, because I go to the gym most times in the morning, so just to get a bit of protein in there, and then banana, carbohydrates for energy.
Yeah, but you probably just eat that because it fills you up a bit more, doesn't it? Yeah. In simple terms.
Yeah. What about you?
Yogurt, yeah, yogurt. But I will also switch between having avocado, either just avocado on sourdough, or eggs and avocado with sourdough.
Yeah, I think the research says that when you break your fast, you shouldn't be going straight in with a very high carb meal. So you're not going to go for a very dense meal as your first meal of the day, because it's just going to completely ruin your cycle of providing energy and that therefore affecting your mood. Like, how many times has someone woken up and had a massive full English breakfast and then just felt like a massive sugar or energy crash like
Yeah.
an hour after?
Even in sleep.
It's to kind of stabilize yourself if you're going to actively think about what you're going to break your fast with. So again, low glycemic foods, so foods that aren't going to massively affect your stomach as well.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. Again, sugary cereals that have just been pushed down our throats for 20, 30 years. Probably the worst thing to have if you're looking after your gut, if you're looking after your energy, your blood sugar levels. Don't really want anything too processed either at that time.
Our opinion would be to stay away from that.
Yeah.
That's based on what we have experienced and found works for us, and that is our opinion.
Well, yeah, just like an ultra processed meal like a Mackey's breakfast, like just writes you off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's just an absolute no.
It's absolute no.
That's an absolute no.
and yeah, just it kind of just makes sense, doesn't it? Like it's common sense. Like you're not going to go any if you're on this journey already of wanting to fast, you're going to have some form of knowledge of what it is that it is to be healthy. So you're not going to go
Yeah.
and ruin your
I
fast
feel
by
like
going and having
that whole
rubbish food.
whole food journey, gut friendly, links in with fasting, because if you're
Yeah.
on that journey, the podcasts you listen to, the people that you read, the books that you read, all of these people are very intertwined with whole food, gut friendly food, fasting. That whole journey seems to kind of intertwine at some point.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're right, you would have an awareness, wouldn't you, of kind of like what it is that you put in your body.
For sure. Some of the myths that need to be busted though are the cereals, the croissants, the kind of like things that are it's alright, it's breakfast time. Kind of need to be challenged because it's lovely having something sweet for breakfast every now and again, but that's not actually doing your body any good, really.
No.
But again, as we're going to keep on about, every individual is different. Someone's blood sugar level could shoot up and spike if they have a croissant, someone's couldn't. So
yeah, I mean, if you're French, it's probably not going to spike, is it?
Oui, la français. Oui.
No, not because I don't actually know any French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment te vas-tu?
Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle Chelsea.
Oh, hello. Got it. But yeah, if you've got any other questions about foods for fasting, let us know. But
Yeah, I
everything's
think
online, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also just really simple, isn't it? Like we don't overcomplicate it. You enjoy your yogurt and your nuts and your berries. I will have that or avocado. Right? There's not really much else that goes into it, is there? And we tend to find that there are times when we can't have that, and it does affect us because we're so used to that kind of breakfast. But there's also times that you're not going to be able to have access to it, and you just get on with it, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
But less is more. I feel like that phrase kind of resonates here.
That's lovely. So, fasting like a girl, that's all well and good, everything we've just said, but
if you're a woman, shock, it's more complicated than that.
Oh dear. So, how's it different?
So, for a man, very simple. You can do intermittent fasting. It's not recommended to do the same length fast every day for your entire life for anyone, because your body will naturally get used to it. Just like with exercise, you wouldn't do the same exercise repeatedly for the rest of your life, because you'd get to a certain point and then there would be no results. So it's the same thing in that sense. However, for men, they can get away with, maybe varying their intermittent fasts, maybe throwing a 24-hour fast, once a month or even once a year, whatever. And there's not really much for them to think about other than when they want to do it. For women, it's much more different because we have hormones.
Well, we have hormones as well.
Okay, sorry, we have more hormones, more hormonal changes.
There we go.
And I was just about to get onto that, and we have a 30-day cycle that we follow. So fasting can be great, has really good benefits. I've felt the benefits. However, if it's not timed right, it can be detrimental to our hormone production and even things like PMS, so the symptoms that you get, your cramps, things like that. And it can end up having negative effects, things like hair loss or no weight loss, things like that.
Weight gain, maybe?
maybe, yeah. So
Definitely mood changes.
mood changes, yeah. So the wonderful intricate works of a woman.
Oh, it's really.
So I'm recently, obviously we all know who I like, I won't say her name again. I've been reading her book, Fast Like a Girl, and I've been on a fasting journey for probably coming up to a year. Have we done it now?
2 months, yeah.
So I've kind of just, done it randomly. There's not really been any structure to it. And reading this book, I'm like, whoa. Some of the things that she talks about are things that I've experienced, and one of the ones in particular is not being able to regulate my hormones, which means that my menstrual cycle has been very sporadic, sometimes 2 in a month, sometimes longer, and I've really struggled to regulate it now. Obviously, coming off the pill, it's been like nearly a year now, and I'm still trying to get that consistent flow, let's say, back, which I think is probably something that a lot of women can relate to. Some women may lose their periods if they're not fasting correctly, but some women will also be able to use fasting to get their periods back. Very complicated. Right, let's simplify it, shall we? So essentially, day 1 to 10, so day 1 of a woman's cycle, for anybody that doesn't know, and I only learned this like 6 months ago, which is ridiculous because I'm 29. Like, why is nobody telling us this at school? It's so mad. So day 1 of your cycle is the first day that a woman bleeds. Now, I didn't know this. A lot of them, you're probably not going to be able to not relate, but you're probably not going to understand any of this, but there will be a lot of women that do. So when you're coming up to being on, you may get like spotting, you may get light bleeding where it's not really enough to have a tampon or a pad, but you might want to put like a little bit of tissue in your pants or something. So there's a little bit. That's not the first day of your cycle. The first day of your cycle is like the bleed, like where you need to put a tampon in. So sometimes, like for me, for example, I may have like 3, 4, or 5 days of that before the actual bleed starts. So I'm there thinking that like, oh my God, like I'm having like 15-day periods. Like there must be something wrong with me. Obviously I'm hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac, not
So that was the biggest revelation for me to start, and I'm like, right, so now I know actually when my cycle starts. So it's the first day of your like full bleed where you need something like a tampon or a pad. So that's day 1. So day 1 to 10 is where you can do slightly longer fasts. So you can do 13 to 72 hours fasting, and it doesn't affect your body negatively. So that's not to say that every time you get to that stage, you should do a 72-hour fast. It's just if you wanted to do one,
not going to be a negative.
Yeah, the best time to do it would be between day 1 and 10 of your cycle. So that could be every 6 months, it could be every year, like whatever you decide. That is just the time at which you should do it for the best results.
Yeah.
So then you move into day 11 to 16, I think it is, another 5 days. And this is where your body there's a lot more testosterone. That's the male hormone, yeah? So, so just going back, in terms of exercise, your body is making estrogen, so cardio is great for your body at that point. So you can do a longer fast and you can also do cardio. It doesn't matter if you do cardio while you're fasting. Then day 11 to 16, we've got testosterone, more testosterone in our body. So weights, you'll see more progress doing weights during that time.
Strength training.
Yeah, and we go down to 13 to 15 hours, no more. And all of this is linked to helping your hormones grow. So at the point where you need that increase in whatever hormone it is for the stage of the cycle that you're on, these fasts help that, not cause detriment to that. So then moving on, you've got another, I think it's like another 5 days, where you then have a window where you can do longer fasts, so 13 to 72 hours. And this again is what my favourite person would call like the power phase. So for those that know what keto is, those kinds of foods and gut friendly foods are great for women. And then we move on to like the last 10 days where our body needs to make progesterone because it's getting ready, yeah. And so when women crave carbs, that is the reason, because your body needs carbs to create progesterone. So progesterone and estrogen sorry, are kind of ramping up at the moment. And it's not recommended to fast until you're back on day one.
So the 7 days, would you say, leading up to?
Yeah, so some women may have a 28-day cycle, some women may go up to 32 days.
Right.
So for some women it can be 7 days that they're not fasting from that last, I think it's like day 21. And some women will be more like 10 to 12 days because they're just waiting for their cycle to start again. And that is not recommended to fast. And that it's also not recommended to raise your cortisol levels. So intense exercise is not recommended. Meditation, yoga, things to bring your cortisol levels down all help in the production of the hormones that you need, but also in what was I saying? Oh, in PMS symptoms.
And also to not ask you to make a decision.
Oh, yeah, you know, don't you?
Or big tasks.
What do you want for dinner?
Or an argument.
What do you mean, what do I want for dinner?
Or a confrontation.
Tell me what's for dinner.
That is the time to be the better partner.
Yeah. So I probably crucified that a little bit because it's all written on a calendar for me, so I know, and I do it every month so I can track it out. But for anybody that is interested, Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy, and she goes through all of it in so much detail. It really is.
Yeah.
It's.
You could also share your calendar at some point, can you? How you track it?
Oh yeah, I could.
You could. People at home to see that. Cool. Okay. Fast track through the differences in women.
Yeah. So for a woman, it's a little bit more different, isn't it? Because we've really got to think like.
You've got to be careful. Or
yeah. Is this what my body needs? Yeah. Because the problem with not doing it right and not allowing your body to produce the hormones that it needs is it then affects the very natural thing going on in your body, which is your cycle, your production of eggs, your menstruation. That is right. Menstruation. I just have proper pronunciation. No. Pronunciation.
How did you get English?
Probably higher than you.
Got a B.
Pronunciation. I think I got a B as well, actually. Pronunciation.
You pronounce something, don't you?
Pronunciation. And I'm right on this one. We're gonna have to. Right, we're gonna have to look this up.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Next episode will be episode 20. Can you believe our 20th episode?
20 weeks. Oi, oi, oi.
We will be answering a lot of questions that have come in to do with fasting.
Yes, we've actually had a lot of
We've had a
fasting.
lot.
So,
Thank you very much for everyone's engagement with that. It's been brilliant.
yeah, we're going to delve into
And we're
that.
also just going to throw a few disclaimers out with fasting as well, because there is a lot of attention with fasting on social media at the moment. Yeah, it needs to be addressed. So
If you know, you know.
we will be
We will be addressing that next.
addressing that next week. As always, thank you very much for listening, watching. See you next week. See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.